Hi guys. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon from my end. But I do know it's prime time for most of you. And I'm glad that we're here. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, man. Come on, it's Thursday. I mean, how bad can it be? Right? It's not Monday. It's not Sunday night. It's Thursday. That means the work week is almost over. Excuse me. The work week is almost over, and Friday is right around the corner. The weekend's almost peeking at us. So we got reasons to celebrate, right? How are you guys doing today? Excuse me. I hope everyone is well. Everyone is well. I am doing really, really good. You know why? You know I'm doing really good? Besides being alive, of course, I just took a nap. I just woke up from my nap. I woke up from my nap, and so I'm good. I'm good. I hope everybody was able to catch a little nap too. Do not underestimate a nice little nap. All right? Don't underestimate a nice little nap. Anytime you can get a nap, grab it. Grab it. 5, 10, 15, 2 hours, whatever. Make sure and grab it. So, how are you guys? How are you guys? How are you guys doing today? I just wanted to welcome everyone. For those of you who will stumble over my channel at some point or the other, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Beverly. Alexander is my surname, of course, because that is the name of my channel. You'll find me under my original name, Beverly Alexander, but the name of my channel is Not on My Soapbox, which is not really a soapbox. I also can be found on Twitter, and I can be found on Instagram on the Good Counsel. And of course, I'm here on YouTube Live trying to save one life on Facebook Live. And actually on Facebook, I meant to say find me here on Facebook. So I just want to hop on here. I'm not going to be long because I already posted 2 little videos today. And so I don't want to, wear out my welcome. But I had an original thought that I wanted to talk about just briefly. I'm going to get into that as quickly as I can. But wherever you are right now, wherever you are when you're reading this, I'm sending love and I'm sending good blessings. All right? So the thought that's been put on my mind is why I started this channel. Why? Everything I do, I try to be intentional because that's important to me. It's important to me to be intentional. Gone are the days when I allow myself to be influenced by other people and go with their flow. Not saying that that's all wrong, but I have learned to dance to my own beat. I will either make a mistake or hit a home run. That's what life is about. I encourage people to live their lives how they want to live their lives. I'm big on that. But I also encourage people to be smart. Because you could also learn from other people's, good fortunes or mistakes. But be aware that you could learn from others. And so I do also. But anything that's going to affect my life in a big way, I make sure that that's a decision that I am making for myself. And I will take other people's opinions and suggestions into consideration. But the ultimate decision will be mine. And so I can live with it. Right or wrong, good or bad, successful or not. I'm not mad at that. So I wanted to talk a little bit on why I started this channel. I think it was necessary for me to talk about that, get in that a little bit. I think that's important because I think maybe perhaps I can, help someone who might be feeling the same thing or might have the same struggles or might have had the same struggles, and maybe they'll see how I dealt with my struggles, or maybe they'll get some tools to help them deal with their struggles. But if you see the thumbnail on my video is depression that can be touched. Depression that can be touched. And as much as I believe that I had something to say, and I do have some things to say, I've lived a little bit, and I've been able to come to understand life a whole lot better at this age than when I was 20. Everybody says that, and as it should be, you know. And then there are another side of it too that we need to touch. That's real that people are dealing with. And for some reason our community, it is kind of stigmatic. People doesn't talk about it as much, or now people are starting to talk about it, recognize it, and not be embarrassed by it. But it's a real thing. Depression is a real thing, and it does some real hurt. So I wanted to start this channel because, like I said to you, that doing the channel was therapeutic for me. I had some issues that I too needed to try, and that which a person does not acknowledge, he cannot fix or change. Try to acknowledge some things, put them in its right perspective. What needs to be thrown away, what needs to be put away, what needs to be forgiven. And, so I can close the door on some things in my life. And so I know I needed that. Because I'll tell you what, I have suffered with depression since I would say perhaps maybe my late 20s, early 30s. In my late 20s, I didn't know what it was. And maybe because I was so busy trying to obtain a life for my children. But I think my depression may have gone into my teens. I think I may also been a teenager when depression would come on me. But I didn't know. I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was. It manifested itself in health. I think I may have told you guys this. I'm not sure. I'll get into it one day. When I was in my mid-teens, late teens, I had to see a gynecologist because I used to be so sick, really sick. So I think my depression went all the way back there. Oh my, I'm just realizing that. My depression went all the way back to when I was a teenager. Because when life happens to us, if we don't deal with it, or we put it away because we have to survive, because it's not living anymore, we survive it. When you don't take care of a situation that's affected you, that affected your life in one way or the other, if you don't recognize it and see it for what it is, if you don't acknowledge what happened to you, if you don't come to term with it, if you don't recognize it, if you don't call it by its name, your brain is trying to protect you, so your brain hides it away so you could go on and survive actually. But it will come back. It will regurgitate because It's something that happened to you that was so monumental that it deserved to be acknowledged and wasn't. Wow, this channel is this channel for me, guys, let me tell you, when I say this channel for me has been a therapeutic experience. A therapeutic experience. I think that's what I'm going to change this to be, a therapeutic. This channel has been a therapeutic and continues to be a therapeutic experience for me, for my life. It's the truth. Excuse me. It's the truth. As I'm talking about this, with my mind to talk about something else is reoccurring within me as we speak. So I will talk about the whole scenario about that thing in my late teens, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. But I'll tell you what, I used to be, and now I can call it what it is, so stressed out over life. I used to be so depressed. So depressed as a late in my late teens, as a teenager, that I had to go to they had to take me to the gynecologist because my body was literally spiraling. Literally, my body was literally spiraling out of control. And I think I may have been 17, 18, somewhere around there. And when I went on to outline to the gynecologist all the stuff that I was experiencing in my body and all these things that were just happening, he said to me, all the things I had, I believe 21 things that I could tell that was happening to my body, 21 things. And I don't remember the doctor's face, I don't remember his name, but I do remember him saying to me, Beverly, all the symptoms that you have explained to me, it's all in your head. Are you understand what I'm saying to you? It's all in your head. Your body is not unwell. I can find nothing wrong with your unwell body, with your body. But everything that you're feeling is real, but it's in your head. I mean, that gave me some clarity, gave me some ease that I wasn't sick and dying from cancer or whatever, that whatever could kill me at the time, because I didn't think I was going to make 16 years old. I'm going to talk about that another day. But I was never taken to counseling to understand why at 17, 18 years old, I had 21 things happening to me that felt like my body was being disruptive and it wasn't cooperating. Didn't get the help for that. No blame. I'm just, listen, I'm learning some of these things as I talk about it. I'm learning some of these things as I talk about it. So way back then as a teenager, depression was on the horizon with me, but I didn't know. And then I really start to feel the effects of depression. Well, when I came to America, not having my children, doing sleep-in, taking care of other children, more depression. But I didn't have a name for it. I didn't have a name for it, so I was surviving. I was surviving what was happening to me. not taking into those experiences into fruition, because nor did I know what it was, nor did I have the tools. Nobody talked about it. It was a sign of low faith. I didn't believe it for a minute, but that was the assumption. That was the assumption. I was accused of having, and I don't have any fake at some point. I'll talk about all those things too. Baby steps, people, baby steps. All right? And I will talk about how long it took me to get my kids here. How many years it took me to get my kids here. More depression upon depression. Imagine living with depression day in and day out. Feeling lostness. Loving God, serving others, but you of yourself, you can't put your hand on the thing that has become a part of you. Depression. I could say that now. I didn't know then. I didn't know what it was then, but I knew that something wasn't quite right. I couldn't explain it to anybody, so I kept it to myself. And I did the best that I can. Depression, going to worship, helping others, involved, loving God. Depression. By the time I got to 36 years old, having received my kids, not long after, full-grown depression. We'll talk about that, but not today. That's a segment on its own. Depression, and I remember at 36 saying to God, show me the way, help me to fix myself, or help me to go where I can get help. And the thought of a book came up. Always wanted to write a book because I felt as though if I wrote a book, I could see my thoughts. I could unravel it. Because for so long, all I did was survive my life so I could get my kids. Depression. Can you imagine having such a darkness that you could actually reach out and touch it, but don't even know what it is, where it is, what to call it? Depression. It had taken hold of me. I was a functioning, I want to say manic person. I didn't know at the time. But then it started dawning on me that perhaps maybe I am depressed. But that's not something that I could speak out loud, because depression and Christianity at that time, whoa, that don't go together. That's a sign of low faith. That's a sign of no faith. Jesus didn't say for you to be depressed. That's what was being preached and said. So I can't talk about it. I gotta fake my way through all this stuff. Depression. I know when it was coming. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can taste it. It's real. The depression I suffered was real. It had nothing to do with my faith. But I didn't know that. And when I started realizing what I was feeling, what I was experiencing, what it was, I could start saying, I understand depression. But then it was a quiet thing until I started talking about depression. It's a real thing. I take the mask off of it, and I start feeling embarrassed. And I start learning about depression, getting certification in depression, because I realized it was a real thing that nobody wanted to talk about. It was a real thing. It was just as real as living your life. It was a part of you, and if not identified, if not handled, it can take over you, and you can get lost. You can lose yourself, and hence why people commit suicide. Depression is a real thing. And it can happen to anybody. And I am sure it happens to you. Yes, I am sure it happens to you too. Yeah. And to you over there, I am sure it's happening to you too. There's no need to be afraid. That which a person doesn't acknowledge, nor can they fix or change. Whether you are conscious of it or not, whether you are aware that's what you're doing, it doesn't matter. If you don't acknowledge what you are feeling, what you are going through, your mind is gonna suppress it so you can survive your everyday life. Depression. And I have suffered depression for years. For years, I could be having a jolly good time right here and turn to go to another room, and there it is. There it is. I could just leave the biggest worship service I have, drive down the street, and boom, there it is. And I can be in that lull for weeks at a time. Depression. My depression was so bad that I was a functioning manic person. Bipolar behavior kind of person. That I could get up out of my bed being depressed for the whole weekend, wash my face and go to work, do my job and come back and be depressed. You hear what I'm saying to you? That was tough. Because when depression takes a hold of you, it gets you. It gets you because when you are depressed, all you could feel, all you could say, all you know is what's keeping you down. You don't have the strength to make sense of what's going on. Because it is, hi Jennifer, it is a real tangible thing. Good to see you, honey. And so I would battle my depression. And so I would talk myself down off of the ledge. You hear what I'm saying to you? My depression was so real. Suicide was really on the table. It was on the table, and I talk about that stuff because there's no need to hide that stuff. That's a real tangible thing. And I suffered with depression for years. Yes, and that's why we need to pay attention to people. Because a person who is depressed, by the time they come to say to you that I'm depressed, the energy that takes, and the shame that comes with it, and the need to make you who they want to tell the depressed to tell that too, they might as well just keep it to themselves. Because the depressed person doesn't want sympathy. You hear what I'm saying to you? The depressed person is feeling what they're feeling, like when you feel hungry, when you feel thirsty, when you feel sad. Depression has all those different attributes to it. And the sad thing about depression is all you feel is heaviness and sadness and darkness, and life is not making sense. Depression is a lie, but it is real. You hear what I'm saying to you? It's real. And we have to learn to pay better attention to the people who are in our lives, to the people who love us. We got to learn those swings. Because people who are suffering from depression doesn't know what to ask for help, how to ask for help. We have to pay attention, and we got to take depression as a real serious thing. People are dying every day because depression doesn't give you hope. Depression keeps you in a lull that you forget all your attributes, you forget all your purpose, you forget all your goals, you forget everything, and all you're feeling is what you are feeling, and what you are feeling is bad. Bad. You hear what I'm saying to you? I am not talking about what somebody told me. I am talking about what I've experienced for almost 30 years. And perhaps more. All right? So when I decided to have this channel and I said I need to do therapy, I knew that I had stuff that was whirling around in my mind. It was so many things. It was like though I was in a dryer and everything is there just going woo, 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 woo. And I was standing so close to it. So guess what? This channel allows me to step back out of it and go in and just take on one topic at a time. One topic at a time. One topic at a time. So when you think you helping, I am helping you. Remember I said this channel is therapy for me. And I rename this thing a therapeutic experience. A therapeutic experience. Okay, so now I'm not standing that close to my depression, my depressive state. I can step back and just take on one issue at a time and look at it and deal with it. Depression is a real thing. And look at the face. You guys know me. Anybody who knows me for any amount of time know that I am a happy person. Know that I am a faithful person. Know that I love joy. Anybody knows me for any amount of time knows that. So if I can say to you that I have been battling depression for over 30 years, you better pay attention. What about a person who is doesn't show the expression as much as I do? What about that person? What about that person? We need to respect depression. We need to respect it because people are dying every day from it. It's a real thing. We need to start paying better attention to each other because we're suffering from depression. And we're suffering because stuff that happens to us, when we don't attend to it and put it in its right perspective, and all we do is suppress. Guess what? That stuff is seeping through in our lives. It's seeping through in our relationships. It's seeping through in our good times. It's seeping through. And one day, it's going to explode. And if not handled correctly, some of us will die. Some of us will commit suicide. Some of us will go postal. It's real. It's real. So that's the reason why I started this channel. I'm not getting into depression per se at this, but I'm letting you know why I started, because I was suffering with depression for so long. And I realized that I need to attend to my dark places. I needed to attend to my dark places. There are dark spaces within me, that stuff that happened, that I have to now go back and revisit. Now that I'm stronger and healthier, go back and revisit. Call those things for what they were. Put it in its right perspective. Get rid of some, forgive myself, forgive others, and so I can start healing from some of those things. Because what happens, we reel from trauma in our lives. And we think that we're better because it's years after and, we're in a better space. No. Whatever happened to you, when it happened to you, if all you had to do was shut down to survive, amen. Amen, because we have a spirit of fight. God give us his spirit. It's a spirit of fight. But because we're mind, body, and spirit, because we're soul, spirit, body, we got to go back and attend to the dysfunction that took place there. We got to take care of our bodies, we got to take care of our minds, and we definitely got to take care of our spirit. The body and mind is one, but the spirit and the soul, we have to take care of those things also. It's in us. It's affecting us. And no matter how old you get, we are going to be dysfunction. We're going to be operating in a dysfunctional matter because something has happened to us and we didn't draw attention to it, and now we need to, because when you know better, you got to do better so you can get better. And I am going to go and I'm going to pull all those things that happened to me and I'm going to name them for what they are. I'm going to put them in the right compartment. I'm going to throw out what needs to be thrown out. I'm going to call it by its name. I'm going to forgive people and I'm going to forgive myself. And I'm going to love myself for enduring all of that stuff. All of that stuff, because unless I don't attend to that stuff, depression is always going to be creeping around me. Because I know when I am about to be depressed. But what I have learned, let me say this to you, for those of you who are suffering with depression, for those who are in a depressive state right now, this is what I do to break that cycle at a time when depression is trying to come upon me. I ask myself, because whatever happens for depression to take over is always a lie. I always ask myself, when I see it coming, this is how I talk to my depression. Not today. Not today. I don't have time for you today. I talk to it like I'm talking to you. Not today. And then when it's coming, because it's coming, I will say, Bev, what are you depressed about? Yes, because you have to break it down. Because by the time that stuff comes on you, it's too late. You got to talk about it. What are you feeling depressed about? Most time, the things you're feeling depressed about is not the truth. It's not the truth. It's a feeling. But that feeling brings a distorted kind of thinking. And you got to ask yourself, what do you have to feel depressed about? It's a lie. You hear what I'm saying to you? It's a lie. The feelings of depression is a lie. But when it comes on you, it gets you all twisted. It's a strong, strong emotion. And then I said, no, I have reasons to rejoice. I'm going to count my blessings. Count your blessing. Counting your blessing is very, very therapeutic. Count your blessings. Count it. 1, I'm alive. Amen. 2, I have children. 3, they love me. 4, I am wonderfully made. 5, I have purpose. 6, I must stand up for Jesus. 7, I will not be lulled into shamelessness. 8, count your blessings. That's what I do. That's how I fight my depression. I count my blessings. I count my blessing because depression is real, but it's also a lie. It wants to lull you into darkness. And I want to tell you, depression is not a spirit from God. It's the enemy trying to keep us in lull, that we can't look up and see the God who is more than able. So I called on him on those times when it's trying to get hold of me, because sometimes it does. And I call on him. I go to the word and I talk to God. I read the words and I fight. Don't just fall into your depression. It doesn't matter how much you have. It's a state of mind. Don't just fall into it. Fight. Say, oh no, Mr. Depression, not today. Not today. Don't you go in your room and close the door and put your television on and binge watch those silly television shows and eat yourself sick and sleep yourself sick. Don't you go in your room and pull the cover over your head and lock everybody out. Fight. When you feel the spirit of depression coming on you, fight, because you do have an option. It's not easy, but you got to talk to yourself about it. The days that you're good, you got to talk to yourself. What can I do to fight my depression? Because I know when I turn the corner, boom, there is my depression. Have an answer. Be ready for it. Don't just lull into it. You are perfectly made. You have a purpose. You have a goal. You're wonderful. You're able. You're more than enough. Tell yourself, have some mantras when you feel the depression coming. Have some mantras you can tell yourself. Don't just lull into it. Because I can talk about it because I have lived it. I've lived depression. And I will tell you some of my symptoms. I will tell you how I fought. I will tell you how depression had me so twisted, where I found myself, the places I found myself. I told you I'm going to be transparent. I don't have anything to hide. I am here to help one person. If I have helped one person with what I'm trying to do, I have done my best. There's no hiding with me. Absolutely no hiding. Depression is real. I can talk about it. It's not somebody else's story. It's my story. It's my story, and I will talk some more about it. So I just want to tell you why I had to start this channel. Because it didn't seem like the book was going to come anytime soon. And I wanted to be intentional about my life. And I figured this might be a way to do it, where instead of me being in that dry or worrying around with all the thoughts in my head, I can step back and I can honestly look at my stuff, call it for what it is, put it in the right perspective, and put it away. So I am in my process. And if you are in your process too, let's do it together. Let's be real, because if you're hiding your stuff, you're not fixing your stuff. If you're hiding your stuff, you're not dealing with your stuff. On this channel, no hiding. Transparency, honesty, eyes wide open, head up, head up. What you have within you is plenty. And with this community, we can help each other. So that's what I wanted to give you today. There's a whole lot more along those lines, but I have to come up with something every day. So I can't give you all in one time. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm not trying to do that. So, depression that can be touched. You have to speak purpose in your space when depression comes. When you start to feel it and know it, fight. Fight. Don't just let it take you over, because that can go for weeks. Fight. You do have power. Don't just say, I'm depressed and I have depression. Yes, that is true. But don't just take it on like it's, don't wear it like a cloak. Don't wear it like a badge of honor. Fight. Sometimes it's gonna win, but it's gonna take a short amount of time. If you fight, it's gonna take a short amount of time. If you fight enough, you're gonna steer it away for another day. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy. And of course, I know there's clinical depression too. I know where people who are clinically depressed needs help from someone. I understand that. Been there, done that, guys. I'm not just talking off the top of my head, But anyway, that's what God gave me today. We're going to talk about it some more. I hope my people are honest enough to talk about it, because if we have a discussion, we could help others. If we have a discussion, we can help others. So, my name is Beverly Alexander. The name of my channel is Not on My Soapbox. Check me out on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'm concerned. If you clock in and you've seen, now I think this is going to be my 30th video. There's something on there I'm sure it can bless your heart. If you're looking at me day in and day out and you haven't subscribed, why not? Why not? Put me in there. Just like you have other stuff to entertain you, put me in there. I'm here to help you with your life as I deal with my life. Put me in there. Subscribe. Give a comment. Ask a question. If you like what I'm doing, press like. Let's be a part of this thing. Let's heal ourselves together. Let's all get healing together. Eyes wide open. It's not about drama and nonsense. And I'm not here to impress you, because you're not going to be impressed by me. I don't have a lot of anything to give you physically. But spiritually, I can talk about that. I have that in droves. And I'll always be honest with you. So, I am on Instagram and I am on Twitter. My handle is Good Counsel there. I am on Facebook. If you're looking at this now, I'm also on YouTube, where you have to go and subscribe. That's the only place you can subscribe, and that's important. Listen, you subscribe by just pressing the red subscription, boop. If you have YouTube, it doesn't cost you anything else. Press the notification button, so whenever I upload this from Facebook, it's going to let you know, hey, there's another video from Beverly Alexander. Check it out. All right? And if you have an announcement you want to make, the channel is yours to make your announcement. Whether it's about a business or a celebration, whatever it is, it's welcome. It's welcome. I am about loving up on people, being a soft place for them to land, being a friend. I'm about being intentional, being purposeful, positivity, no negativity. We have enough of all that crazy out there. This is a safe space, a respectable safe space. Look, today is all we have. It's all we have. Let's do our best. Let's give 105 in our relationships. Let's be the best version of ourselves, the best we can be. Let us draw people to us, not chase them away. Let's be kind, be thoughtful, be considerate. Watch your speech. Okay, because words do hurt. All right? So, don't forget to subscribe. Come back. I'm going to have something for you again tomorrow. I'm working on myself. Hopefully you'll work on yourself as well. I love you. I love you to bits and pieces. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.